Let me ask you about a little more controversial subject that maybe was a little touched me a little bit deeply. You mentioned something years back, and I always wanted to ask you about this. I never had a chance to interview you. You said that the Holocaust, was an exaggeration by the Jewish people.
I say that, man. I made one post on Facebook and everyone went apeshit. Yeah?
Well, it's a very sensitive topic. That's why.
Well, there was videos on there and so on. If people want to watch them themselves, man. It's like a lot of things I don't believe about the Second World War because I've done my research. Mm-hmm. Go do your research, man. Find out.
I've done a lot of. I have relatives. I'm half Jewish. I have relatives who were there. I mean, so obviously the Jews. There were Jews that were, that were in concentration camps and that were killed. I mean, so why do you think that happened? If there was
definitely were concentration camps in Europe. Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
I didn't know until I looked into it that there's 2 forensic studies in Auschwitz on the gas chambers that proved that no gas was ever used there. So, I mean, did you know that?
Well, where did all the dead bodies come from, Dorian?
Listen, I'm not going to get into all this. All the dead bodies came from starvation and typhus. That's where all the dead bodies come from. Mm-hmm. But even if you touch this subject, you're going to be persecuted. Many historians, even Jewish scholars, say the same thing. So, they get persecuted for that. I put one post on Facebook. A lot of stores were saying they're not going to take my products. I just put a post on Facebook that I found was interesting. I put a fucking 1,000 other ones. Have a look,
Yeah,
it's not a subject that I study endlessly or I'm very passionate about it. I was just, look at this, what I found. Have a look, make your own mind up. That's it.
Well, it's just it was one of the greatest genocides of all time. What the Germans perpetrated on the Jewish people. So I think there's a lot of people that are very sensitive about it.
That's the story we've been told. That's correct.
Do you regret putting that up?
No, not really. I don't regret that.
But do you believe that what you put up is true?
I believe in historical facts that I've read. So if you want to study the Second World War, go study the historical facts. Go do the study. Don't get your information from movies and documentaries that are all made by the same people. Do your independent study, just like on any other subject, and make your mind up. That's it.
Right, but my independent study comes from people who were actually there in the concentration camps. So wouldn't that testimonial be a little bit more accurate than historians who weren't there?
I've read seen lots of videos from people that were in the camps.
And you don't think they're lying?
Auschwitz, they had a swimming pool, football team. They had a great drama club there. So they also had concentration camps in US for Japanese citizens, as they saw them as foreign combatants. Mm-hmm. They had camps in UK for Italians, as they saw them as possible alien combatants. Right. So that's pretty much what they did in Europe as well.
Right, but they weren't putting them to death there. That's the only difference. Not that it was right, but they weren't putting them to death. Trying to cleanse the society of them.
Well, I don't believe they were putting anyone to death in Europe either.
All right, well, that's your opinion, I guess. Let me ask you this question. Let's change subjects.
Based on the research that I've done. Simple as that.
I'll send you a couple of Jewish people's families you can talk to. Maybe that'll add to your research and change your mind a little bit. Everyone has entitled to their own opinion. Let's talk about a different subject.